प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. So this is the study Purushottama Yoga, and as we were discussing, this is about the indwelling being. We all feel a non-corporeal indwelling somebody in us, which does not change in the midst of all physical changes. Like Vitthal will say that I was then 3 years old, now you are 11. So it is, but the body changed, that it is, your height was more than or less than? Less than. Now height has increased, but you are the same being whose height was less and whose height is now more. It is who was during those days was not as wise as you are now. So you are same. There is something because of which we see this sameness in spite of all the changes. That indwelling being is the subject of inquiry, that who is that indwelling being and what is the best form of that indwelling being. Because this indwelling is, as you probe deeper, it seems that there is a cover, then there is still inside another cover, still inside another cover. Like in our area, when you go out in winter, the temperatures are 0 Fahrenheit or something, then you can't go out like this, Maybe some people are who can, but I cannot. So what I do, layer after layer, many layers of clothing. There is this, then there are trousers, and on that many sweaters, and then a big jacket, all that, about 5-6 layers, then many hats and caps and all that. So then, and socks, one layer, there you see red socks, white socks, they all go together. Brown socks, black socks, say all of them are put on. So now when I come back, then now inside it is warm, so you cannot stay with all that heap of warm clothing on you. So you start taking off one, another. This is the cloth, this is not the indwelling being. So take another layer off, still it is not the real being. Another, this is also a layer of clothing, take that off, take that off. So like that, when we start taking off the sheets that body, I am not this flesh, blood, bones, and so no, I am not that. Then you come to a bit inner layer that is called Pranamaya Kosha. This is Annamaya Kosha because this is just food processed, and we think of it like it is a beautiful body and beauty, like it is just a beautiful, like the shirt, and nicely colored and all that, well fitting, but it is just some fabric that is covering you, that's all. So similarly, this is a food sheath. Whatever you have taken, that gets properly processed and forms a sheath that covers us. So it is food sheath. So go deeper, then there is the sheath called Pranamaya Kosha, that the sheath made of all the different energies functioning in us. The organs function, motor organs, sensory organs, the mind, all that function, it is called the energy sheath, Pranamaya Kosha. So, and you say, well, that is also a sheath, I am not that. Then there is called the mind sheath, means then there is the perception, the whatever information you take in, that forms another sheath. The various emotions that keep on, you get into all those emotions. I am happy, I am dejected, I am irritated, I am elated, I am depressed, I am melancholy, all that it is the emotions, the sheath of emotions. Then there is, that is called Manomaya Kosha, it is a covering. Then there is the intelligent Kosha, the kosh called the Vijnanamaya Kosha, that it is your knowledge, your discerning faculty, what you hold as true. This is different from the sheath of emotions. You know that emotions, they come and go, but then there is something that is called understanding, and that stays. That is, it stays longer, it is more inner, and it has more governing power. At least it should have more governing power, not always, many times, actually more often than it should. The emotions win over our understanding. Our understanding just becomes a mute, inactive witness to all the riot that the emotions run. So it is, that is the inner sheath, which if energized, made powerful, then is potentially have the power to control the sheath of emotions. So that is Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is given lot of importance in this journey of life, as we will see in these verses that are coming, which refer to actually the Kathopanishad imagery of a chariot, that there the deciding factor whether you are really going to reach your goal or are just going to keep on roaming about in this world depends on this Vijnanamaya Kosha, Vijnana, this vijnana sarathiriyasya mana pragrahavaൻ naraha sodhvana paramapnoti tad Vishnu paramam padam. So, if this vijnana, our understanding, our discerning power, if that is alert and powerful, then our journey will go on right. It is like if the driver in the car is alert, knows the directions, follows the proper path and takes good care of the car, then you are very likely to reach the destination. In fact, you are sure to reach the destination. You are relaxed about it because the driver is taking care of all those things. So, if the driver is faltering, is not capable, is drunk, then it is the chances are that you will end up in a ditch rather than at the desired destination. So this is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And then there is the Anandamaya Kosha. That is the innermost, and you are just a separate being. That is the last of the sheets in this description. So, and then if you take out all these sheets, then what remains? Who was asking the question yesterday that what remains? That lady is not here today. So what remains? She is not here, yeah. So what remains? What is left cannot be specified, because all the instruments of specification, they already have been transcended. That is why it cannot be shown, because for showing you require certain those instruments of communication. They are your body and mind and intellect. They have been transcended already. You do not have that. It is in the, like you go beyond the gravitation field, and then what is the weight of this person? Well, the weight is in the gravitational field. With respect to the gravitation, you have the weight. Otherwise, there is no weight. That question doesn't appear there. It is the weight is dependent on the force of gravity. I went to that in Atlanta. There is that NASA center. They have that place, zero gravity, 0G, 3G. So I could not go to 0G because there was a long queue for that. So, and we didn't have time. So, but I went to 3G. And then they generate that thrice the gravitational force. And it is so amazing, just that it is impossible even to lift your finger. Because now you can easily lift it, but because of now the weight of that finger has become so much, 3 times. So this little muscle that is controlling this finger's movement, that doesn't have the power to lift it. It is, you have to, they test whether your lungs are okay or not. They ask you that because the motion of the lungs may not happen and you may die because there is no breathing possible. It becomes so heavy. So it is, even though you are light-hearted, you will have a heavy heart. So it is now the question therefore about how much weight depends on gravity. No gravity, no weight. So the question as to what is that state means what Shankaracharya says that you have to then give specifications. How is it means how is what is his name, that Arya. So how is Arya? So you tell that is the boy, little boy with such charming face and this kind of hair and has so much of height and looks like this and is brilliant and usually tight-lipped and doesn't talk, so only smiles. So this description can be given. What is the description of his physical and mental capabilities? That can be described. But what is Arya beyond that cannot be described. Therefore, this next verse that we are going to discuss is Narupamasyeha tathopalabhyate. This tree that was being described as this whole samsara, the creation, how it is, well, exactly cannot describe. It depends on what instrument you are using. Keep that instrument aside and that description no longer is valid. It is, you use a telescope, you get one picture of it. You use a still powerful telescope, you get another picture of it. And if instead of using telescope you use your plain eyes, you get another picture. You put microscope to eyes, you get different picture. See, even in this normal our experience, how the pictures vary so fast. Yogurt, you eat nicely, put a microscope to your eyes and look at the yogurt, you will not be able to eat it. You should eat it in spite of that, but then you will see that thousands of little worms crawling inside there. But still you should eat a bowl full every day, because all those little worms are very helpful for you. So it is it depends on the instruments that you use. And when all these instruments are not available, you don't know how it is. You cannot have any description for that. Your eyes don't function there, your intellect doesn't function there. No sense organs or mind or intellect have any capability in that field, and therefore narupamasyeha tathopalabhyate. How it is, you have no way of correctly understanding it. Shankaracharya says, Maya marichi udaka gandharva nagarakara drishta nashta swarupatvat. How it is drishta nashta swarupa, that you see it and it changes. Even like it is in the quantum quantum world, the process of observing changes the observed, you see. So what are you observing? The very process of observation alters what you went to observe, and the object, it depends on the instruments that you are using. The instrument that you use, it is like a probe that goes to that object and changes it. So it is all, how it is you don't know. It is therefore na roopamasyeha tathopalabhyate. It cannot find a proper description. Nanto na madhya, nanto na nanto na chadir na sampratishtha. That you don't see when it is going to end. We don't know. It is when is the end of the universe? Different theories, the thermodynamic destruction of universe, that is one way of understanding. Then the gravitational extinction of the world, that is predicted by Einstein's general theory of relativity. Funny that everything will keep on falling together under gravity till it comes to a singularity, a point where this whole trillions of light years vast universe will be brought to a immeasurably tiny point, and that is the destruction of the universe, singularity. So this is one way of describing it. It is, but whether it will happen or not, who knows? These are all the predictions. This theory says this, another theory says that. Then there are the religious theories that the end of the day, many these churches, they have this theory, biblical theory, that it is the end of the world is at hand, only faithfuls are going to be saved. So come to Jesus and you will find salvation. Otherwise you are going to be destroyed. The angels of our Lord are going to come down and the faithfuls will be just lifted up. Where up, who knows, but there is a nice book of giving you the description of all these very highly influential preachers from Jewish as well as Christian background, that they are very influential. Tens of thousands of people, they attend their service. How many are here? So it is, see, tens of thousands of people attend their sermons, and that book, Armageddon, that book is, I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Armageddon?
Armageddon. So it is Armageddon, and that gives the detailed accounts of all this. How this world is going to end. They have their different theories that, and since they have, the human being means a body, everybody is just a body. So one description is funny, that all the graves will burst open and those buried bodies will be lifted to the heaven by the Lord. If they are in the cars, driving from the cars, right at that point, they will be lifted. Only the faithfuls. So there the author says, so those faithfuls should not be allowed to drive. They should not be allowed to fly, because what will happen? According to these preachers, That will happen, and it will cause so much, and death and chaos. So therefore they should not be given the jobs of pilots. All airliners should ask, are you faithful? And then you are not getting the job.
But it will not matter if it's the end of the world anyway, because everybody's gonna die.
Well, no. But those who are not believers, they will be punished later. It is first these will be lifted up. So the end. Where is the end of this world? Drishta nashta, as Shankaracharya says, drishta nashta. Why it is there? You see, and therefore it is there. That's all. How he describes swapna. What you see in dream, it is real because you are seeing it. When you don't see it, it is not there. That in the dream you did something, and then when you wake up it is gone. Where did it go? It was there because you were experiencing it. Same with this world. It is here because we are seeing it. That's about it. Otherwise it has no nacha sampratishtha. It doesn't have any tangible existence. I am seeing, so that is the only proof of the existence of the world that we have. No other proof of existence of this world. What is the proof that the world is? Come on, tell. I see, that is the only thing I experience, that's it. There is no other proof. It is when people ask, what is the proof of God? Well, some have experienced it. Just as you have the proof of existence of the world. What is the proof? No other proof is there. Just you experience it. And if that proof is enough to accept the world as real, then same is true with God. God is experienced by people. People see God. You don't see, but then yes, that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. Because somebody sees it. You haven't seen many things, but on the authority of somebody else you accept that. Many in different other parts of the world haven't seen a panda. But then that doesn't mean panda doesn't exist, because some people have seen it. In India you don't see this skunk. Do you see skunk, Arya? You haven't seen a skunk? See, so he has not seen a skunk. If you see skunk, that is no problem. If the skunk sees you, then there could be a problem. Your seeing skunk is not a problem. So just because he hasn't seen skunk, that means for him such a creature doesn't exist. Drishta nashta swarupatvat. It has no independent proof of existence. That is how things never happened. It is the gang of criminals. That is how even if a crime is committed by one of their members, then they stand alibi to each other, So it never happened. What do you mean? No. See, he was having a drink at that time. When you say the murder happened, we were 500 miles away at that time. I was with him. Yeah. So that is how It is so. What is this world exists? Who knows? We were discussing at the time of tea. That man said, "I never snore. I have never heard it." It is so. I have never heard myself snoring. So it is. Therefore, it doesn't exist. Drishta nashta. This world is because I experience it. There is no independent verification of it. So, nacha sampratishtha. When did it begin? We don't know. Just think about it. We never know when the dream begins. At what point the dream begins. You do not know. Now there are these instruments, and then externally they have put those electrodes and see the wave pattern changes, and then some particular wave pattern is associated with dream. So now that pattern tells at what pattern when that pattern began in this world, so at that time that person is dreaming. But that person doesn't know when the dream starts. When did the dream begin? At what time? Well, then you are not seeing dream if you are looking at this your wristwatch. You can see your wristwatch of dream, but it will be showing a very different time than this world, because there you are awake and you are having the daytime there and not night. So therefore you don't know the time or when the dream began, when the dream ended, you don't know. It just finished. So this world is like that. When this world began, we don't know. That Big Bang, there is that theory, Big Bang. What time was Big Bang, Abhijit? How many trillion years ago?
Some billion years ago.
Not trillion? Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Not trillion years ago, he is sure. It is only billion years ago.
He was there.
That was it.
That was it, yeah. Yes, yeah. So it began means what? The question, the cosmologists say that question is absurd. That when did the Big Bang happen? And we cannot really tell because the time began with it. The time, it didn't happen in time. The Big Bang did not happen in time, but it is what you can say, it didn't happen these billions of years ago. Up to that we know that it was, this world was. So it must have happened before. It is a kind of projection, forward projection and backward projection. That seeing that the universe is expanding, then you take it backwards like that. That so it must have been small initially. So now it is becoming big. So how many years took it to go back when and then get exploded? So with that explosion, then the time began. With that the time begins. So how many years ago this happened? This is not a valid question as such. Just as what time did the dream begin, not a valid question. So yes, outside the Big Bang, those who were observing this Big Bang happen, they will be able to tell in their time that when the Big Bang happened. It is like when this volcanic eruption happened, if the volcano happens right under your feet, then you are not going to be there to tell that what time did the volcano erupt. But you were, say, observing after, that from a long distance, then yes, I saw the lava coming out at this time. So, that is how Nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha. But it is, we experience it, and it is very deep rooted, that also we see, because it doesn't seem to be going away. And we see the ill effects of this universe being caught into this. But it doesn't go. Since it doesn't go, we were talking about you just a little while ago. So she was the one who asked the question, isn't it? So we answered your question now. Anyway, so you were saved from that answer. So it is so deep rooted, so we cannot take it out. It keeps on growing again and again. This world, okay, finished, let me get rid of it. It again comes up. It is suvirudha moolam. It is very deep rooted. Ashvathamenam suvirudha moolam. Very deep rooted. And we have some weed there in Providence, and just near that wooden fence, and it grows and goes into the gaps of the fence and ruins the fence. So we uprooted it, but could not uproot it completely. Again next spring, so it is, you need a separate special instrument to really uproot it. It is, and then wherever you throw some seeds fall there, it again starts coming up from there, doesn't go. That is the story. These stories in the Puranas, they are very nice allegoric presentation of this. You know the story of that Rakta Bij. That is the imagery of this universe, Rakta Bij. Do you know the story of Rakta Bij?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
As the drop of blood fell more and more.
Yeah, so how to kill that demon, The problem is you go to kill, and then the drop falls, the blood falls. Now with every drop of that blood from that demon, exactly a similar demon rises up with the same power, with all the weapons. So you went to kill one demon, and instead of that demon getting killed, now you have thousands of them to deal with. That is the imagery, that you go to uproot this samsara, but it is so deep rooted and keeps on sprouting everywhere again and again. Okay, let me take care of this. But that taking care of it brings up many more such shoots. Okay, this is finished. No, it has come up again. It is before you feel that it is like that, the problems, they keep on growing. You take care of one, and then the other one springs up, which is much worse, you say. It is to avoid the frying pan and you jump in the fire, you say. So it is Suvirudha Moolam. This universe is so deeply ingrained that it cannot be just removed by trying to take it out. You need a special instrument for that. Special instrument is necessary. Without that instrument, you cannot take it out. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Asanga, they has this acts of detachment, and that has to be used, and to be used mercilessly. Do not show mercy to those things. It is asanga shastrena sadridena. Hold it firmly. See, Lord is giving this advice. Each word is so important because otherwise we are not very compassionate as such, but we know how much compassion we have. But when it comes to uprooting the attachment, we suddenly develop a lot of compassion. Sri Ramakrishna warns one devotee that look, whatever your wife may say, she may shed lot of tears and all that. That is not the time to show compassion, otherwise that will ruin your spiritual life. That is because he was telling that man, he used the word wife, that's it. But it is for everyone, whether for man or woman or whatever, that the object of attachment is deep rooted, and then we develop. It is that it comes on automatically. We don't have to develop those roots of those weeds. We didn't plant those seeds. Our Shrikant and went to buy the plants. Did you buy the seeds of those weeds? You didn't. We didn't want them to be there, but they come up. Now, some few days back, one lady had volunteered that I will do the weeding, and then there were some lot of this those green weeds with some tiny flower-like thing there. So she said, no, I didn't have heart to take that out. They look nice, isn't it? He said, look, they have taken over all this big space. Now, do you want the plants there that we have planted to grow, or want to grow this? No, but they look nice. Well, they look nice, but still, in spite of their being, they're looking so nice, they need to be uprooted. They need to be uprooted. They may look nice, they may look good, and you may say that, no, I don't want to take it out. That lady understood, she agreed that that has to be done. Otherwise, this will not work. That is, our other plants that we have put there will not get a chance to grow, because these weeds, they are very powerful. They will extract, snatch away all the nutrients in the soil and the water and whatever you put, and that will grow. So, asanga shastrena dridena chitva. And this is an important thing that has to be remembered. The sentence doesn't complete in this verse. Next verse, this sentence continues. Dridena chitva, that in English it would translate that having cleared or cut asunder this with the weapon, with the axe of detachment. Then next verse proceeds, tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatad nivartanti bhuyah. So this is the first, and then that you can do it later. What do you do if you have, say, boat? Small boats. Now you see in our New England, so many people, they are going in the winter, they have tied that boat in the dock. Now first they start rowing the boat, or first they untie it? What should be done, Vittu? Otherwise, what is the point in rowing, just splashing the water, that's it. The boat will not move anywhere. So first cut that. Otherwise, you may do your japa, rowing, that is rowing. I am doing my japa, I am doing this yajna, this, what that? 1008 Lalita Sahasranama Yajna. You had gone for that, yeah. Sahasrachandi Yajna. All good, but they become effective spiritually only if you have cut that rope. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Sure way of getting blessings. If nobody is showering blessings on you, just put something in the nose and then you will get so then you will get lot of blessings. So that is to be done first. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Then this is that in Sanskrit, that tva pratyaya, that it is having done this. Now, having untied the boat from the bank, now start rowing. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. You have the English translation there? Oh, who has it? You have, okay. What book is this? Okay, please read the English translation. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah prakriti prasrita purani.
Having cut asunder this firm-rooted ashwatha with the strong axe of non-attachment, then that goal is to be sought for, going whither they, the wise, do not return again. I seek refuge in that primeval Purusha, whence streamed forth the eternal activity.
So, that is how I have to go in the boat there. So first untie it from the bank. So what is this untying means? We have tied ourselves. This is my body, a big tying, I am this body. That is to be untied. Then there are all the secondary these ties. After this primary tie, I am this body. Then the attachments, further attachment with the body. These are my parents and my spouse and my children. They are further attachments with the body. And that has to be untied. So, what does it mean, Vithu? That means start quarreling with your parents? No, what does it mean?
It means like you shouldn't be bound to them. You shouldn't be like you should be able to live by yourself and not feel that you need them.
Oh well, that is, but but this is, now you are a little child, so you need support from somebody. So, and everybody needs support from somebody, even when you grow up. Human beings, they are not islands to themselves. They need support. Even say your mom is grown up. Now she requires job, means somebody has to provide job for her. Then she gets some money, and then she buys groceries for you without nuts and all that. So whatever, but she needs support of other people for that. Those other people also need support of somebody. It is all intertwined universe. So what is the meaning of anasakti, or this detachment, asanga, this detachment? What does it mean? One should understand it, otherwise it will appear to be completely impractical idea. What is the meaning of this? That develop this attitude of not being mine. Not being mine. Don't have any proprietary right over your mom, Vittal, or your dad. They are mine. Don't say that. Respect them, revere them, and listen to them, and ask whatever is needed from them, but do not say that they are mine. So that is what is to be developed, that attitude. Do you get it, Vittal? Yeah. So that idea is to be cultivated, that it is not mine. This is an arrangement, that's all. It is like you have a car and you ride in that car. So temporarily you say it is my car and so forth. It is, but it is your parents' car, not your car. But you use it anyway. You use it anyway to go to school or whatever. So you use it, but it is not your car. You know that very well. Because without asking you, your dad or mom can sell it, isn't it? Do they need your permission to sell it? No. So, although you use it, and please continue using it, but it doesn't belong to you. Do your parents, should they think that it belongs to them? No. Should they think that Vittal belongs to us? No. It is just, it is for now they have the job of taking care of this little one, but it doesn't belong to them. This is an attitude that needs to be developed. We get attached very quickly. the job, a company that that lady got recently appointed, and she, after a few days, first she was not using that term. After within couple of months, she started saying my company. It got so ingrained. Then it was to be bought by some other tech company. And she told me that, oh, we refused that offer. We refused, she is one of that, the thousands of workers there. And not also on the top decision-making body. But that identification comes. Oh, we refused their offer. So the identification comes quickly. You get identified with that. It is my shirt. What is my... It was when a few days ago it was in some Messi or somewhere or whatever shop, I don't know. It is... that is a good thing about Swamis. You don't know where the things come from. So therefore easily, it is easy that they don't belong to you because they just came to you for your use. Okay, you use it. It does not belong to you. That one has to keep on reminding oneself. Otherwise it is asakti. Remember that saying that asakti means kabhi bhi asakti. That is how the word is. Asakti. Ja nahi sakti. Uska naam ja sakti nahi, asakti hai. So it is.
What that means?
Yeah, you can explain to her.
Asakti means can come anytime.
Anytime.
And jasakti means
can go. Yeah. So asakti, it has. Yeah, the door is open for it. It can come in any time. So you are not. One doesn't become conscious of it, but you unconsciously get caught in it. It feels very nice, and so. Therefore, this is to be very strictly, and that is why dridhena, that you have to hold it. There will be the temptations that, oh, this one thing let me keep as mine. Through that one, everything will come up. It is, as they say, when you are putting water in a pot. There are holes in the pot. Even if you do not plug one hole, the water will all flow out. It will not be able to hold any water. So all the spiritual wisdom that we try to collect will all just be gone. And that is one reason that why do we not progress spiritually? Because we do not have this weapon, this axe of detachment. We don't hold it firmly, and we are lax about this axe. So it is okay, let this remain. This is rather too tough. How can I give up attachment for my spouse, you see? So it is, after all, so this birth I will just go with that. Next birth I will not, I will make sure that I will not have any spouse and all that. So next birth I will realize God. As if this birth, before taking this, you decided that this birth I will have a spouse. So it doesn't depend whether You have a spouse or you don't have a spouse, attachment can come on anything. On anything. Don't think that this is only about householders and monks don't have any attachment. Not so easy. Even the monks develop attachment on their ashrama. My ashrama. And it is the best ashrama. I say our Providence ashrama is best. It is all my that speaks, So it is easy to get attached. Even if you are a Swami, you have to still be very vigilant that not to get embroiled in all these things. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Cut it. Don't show any mercy to that. It has to be cut, asunder. Do not get attached on anything in this world. If you are attached to even one thing, that's it. You don't proceed further. Your journey will not start. You may keep on rowing the boat, that it will not move anywhere. So, asanga shastrena dridena chitva tata padam tat parimargitavyam. Now the journey can proceed. That padam. Now you have to focus on the goal, so that your boat doesn't go either thither. It keeps the direction proper. That is to be now taken care of. Focus on that. Tata padam. And what is the description of it? We saw that it cannot be really described, but there is one way of describing it. What is it? That in that yasmin na nivartanti bhuyah. If you get there, you are filled with fulfillment. You do not have to then return from there. Otherwise, our life is full of dissatisfaction. Therefore, we keep on looking for newer and newer avenues for satisfaction. This did not satisfy me. I will try that other one. This ice cream was okay, but this was, let me try another flavor that may be good. So it keeps on just changing. Our Vitthal earlier, some years back, he got into big argument with so many of us that some movie that he happened to see, that is the best movie in the world. And he was not going to budge from that while we were in the car. We tried to tell him, no, that is not, that is the worst one. He said, well, that can be your opinion. It is. But then his opinion changed in a few days, No, that was, now it is, that was not the best one, that is now number 3. Immediately it changed, because the amount of satisfaction that you got from it no longer exists. That is this world. So anything that you think of here, you do not have a lasting satisfaction from any of these things. It is, you go to get them, and then I thought it will be so good. Nothing exciting. It is all like that. But this is one thing. yasmin gata na nivartante bhuyah. There is no return from that, because you are fulfilled. No return from that, not like getting into tiger's den, and no return from that, not in that sense. Well, but you become fully enlightened. So, and fully happy, satisfied. No need to look for anything else in life. Full, complete, total satisfaction in life. So, that is the what you want to get to. And we all know that in a way, that we want to get fully satisfied or half satisfied. What, do you want to be fully satisfied or only 5% satisfied? Fully satisfied, yeah. What, Swati? You want to get satisfied or not? How much?
Fully.
Fully, yeah. And that is so, that is the gantavyam, the destination. Tatha padam tat parimargitam. The words are so beautiful and with such deep meaning. That goal, tatha padam, means where the destination that you want to go. That is the meaning of this word padam in this context. Tatha means after that, after chitva. Tatah, it is in Sanskrit, it is like Panchami. So after this, now, having done this, now this. So tatah padam parimargitavyam. You have to go that. But it is a course. You have to stick to the course. In all, these circumstances, in difficulties, you will have to see that you don't deviate from the path. That is parimargitavyam. That is the meaning of this prefix pari. Means be aware of the surroundings and go in the right direction. There will be, the road will be branching out here, there, and there would be the temptations that let me go and explore that a little bit. No, go straight to the destination. Tatha padam parimargitavyam. Do not get distracted en route by anything. This is so important, because the distraction happens. It is, my friend lives not too far from here, and just 25 miles more, and I will go and meet my friend, and then I will continue with that journey. But then we were meeting after so many years, so we spent more time there, and that friend suggested, and there is a nice resort here, let us go there. And what is the hurry? I am not joking. In this journey towards the goal, these things do happen more often than we imagine. That, liberation is after all certain. The scriptures say that is my true nature. So it cannot go anywhere. Whether I reach now or after 5 days doesn't make much difference. So before I reach the liberation, this is my chance to meet my friend. So let me take that. And I was not particularly interested in going to that beach, but then my friend insisted, and I didn't want to break heart of my friend. So anyway, liberation is certain. So it is let me do this. No. You are deviating from the path, and it is a long path. Keep the goal in sight. If it is destination is far away, like those spacecrafts, they have to be very meticulous. A slight deviation will, you will reach somewhere else, So it is that would happen if we are not particular. Tata padam parimargitavyam. This is very common, this deviation. It again happens unconsciously. That sometime, I think last year I told that incident, that story, that a young brahmachari in our order shows that this can happen to anybody, It is, somebody can be a monk of many years practice, still it can happen. That it is, and it very, in an inconspicuous way, it enters you. That person was given this responsibility, that you will prepare this offering, the food offering at the puja for Sri Ramakrishna. So you make it nice. So he thought, yes, I must do nicely everything. So it is after all service to Sri Ramakrishna, and I must do it best. So this rice pudding he was making, then okay, what are the proper ingredients? I will have to buy those things. Fine, okay. The proper process. Then somebody told him that lady makes best pies, Okay, so let me learn from all. Well, why you should get some. He was told, why you need to do that? No need, No, I feel that I should learn it correctly, and that lady, she is the best teacher I was. She makes the pies best. Okay, now from learning pies from that lady, when he got into that lady, it is the passage was like that, you see. Unconsciously, you get into those things. So it is, Sri Ramakrishna said that, look, he gave his that example, that they were that seeing a mine, underground mine. So while going, said, you do not realize how far down you have gone. When you look up, oh my goodness, we came down so much. So one can come down to that extent, and then, oh, now it is again a very big uphill task. So therefore, it is a very important thing. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam, without getting distracted. That is so important. It is very easy, the distractions come very easy, automatic. I see the simple thing, that you on the way, you say stop for filling the gas and go to bathroom. Then as you go to that place, you see so many things around, so many nice things to eat. Oh, okay, I am feeling anyway hungry. Hey, let us have some ice cream, you see. It seems to be very good, and the prices are not much, and so you get into the distraction. So therefore, when you indulge into those things, then you don't know where you will end up. So be very clear. Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam. Keep the focus glued to the goal and walk there. Not just look at the goal and do not walk. Both these things are to be done. You see, keep the moving there. Keep the moving there. Follow the path, but path means path to the goal, not some path going somewhere else. It is because nobody cheats us more than our minds. It is like our, you see, the little children, they are after all little, but that happens with the grown-ups too. Yes, I had decided to do that, but then I thought, let me sleep more today. And then all the plans get, because mind starts cheating. One student, some 6th or 7th grader student, he was told, okay, write the journal, diary, and make a timetable as to what you should do. And so a nice timetable was made by that okay, in the morning, get up at 6 o'clock, then from 6 to 7, all cleaning up, taking shower and drinking my milk and eating banana, something like that. So my breakfast, and then from 7:30 to 8 o'clock I will do this study. But the journal read differently. Because yesterday what happened was I watched this on TV, and instead of sleeping at 9:30 or 10, I slept at 11:30. So by the time I actually got up, it was already, instead of it was already 7 when my mom shook me out of the bed, and then it is already somehow I got ready. I was still feeling sleepy, and then it was already the time to go to school, and my plan to study, I could not do it, and then that was the time slot kept for the study of math. So later on, after I came back, then it was not time for studying math, so I dropped studying math. So it is like that. So our mind keeps on cheating us. This is not just a story of kids. It is the kid wrote the journal faithfully, honestly, that this went on, very amusing. Our journal will not be, so honest maybe, but it will be, the story would be more or less, Teresa?
The same.
Same, yeah. So therefore, we decide but do not act on that. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. Parimargitavyam. And keep that determination. Relentlessly follow that. The path has to be relentlessly held on to despite the difficult situations. Yeah, there will be difficult situation, but hold on to it. There would be temptations on the way, but hold on to your resolve and proceed, because otherwise the chances of your reaching are Very slim. So this is then just a false consolation. After all, I am potentially divine. Yes, you are only potentially. It is that is tata padam tat parimargitavyam, that yasmin gata nanivartanti. That is the destination. That it cannot have much other description. Then what is the next line?
Tameva chadyam.
Tameva chadyam. That is another description of this. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah prakriti prasrita purani. Although we don't see the divine, our true nature, we are not seeing this self, but we see that all this has come from that. So that is in Vedanta, the best definition of God. Even in other scriptures you will see that is the great definition of the divine being. From what our experience is, you find the source of our experience. That is God. All that you see here, where does it come from? So that is to be seen as God. That it all comes from. It comes from somewhere. This is the clear ingrained belief in cause and effect, that this effect is coming from some cause. That ultimate cause from which all this has come, yatah prakriti prasrita purani. Yatha pravritti prasrita purani. That pravritti and prakriti, the meaning is similar here. That it is vritti means circle, vritta. Where from this going on and on, this circle is coming from pravritti. When that circle is going outwards, it is called pravritti. When this spiral is going in the direction where it is coming from, the word is nivritti. Pravritti, nivritti. So pravritti, and that is the prakriti also. That instead of it becomes the root. Kriti means the actions. Prakriti, that it is proceeding like that. So it is where from it is coming. Yatah means where from. That again, that in Sanskrit grammar it is called a Panchami Vibhakti, that apadan, where it comes from. It is coming from somewhere, and that is how the scientific investigation also is. Where from it is? Let me find the root of it. Let me find the cause of this. Because you are seeing the effect. The effect is a fact that is perceived. And you see that one nature of this effect, one characteristic that anybody can easily see is, it comes and goes. It is. So there must be something more stable from that, from which this is coming and going back. It comes from there and goes back to that. So that is how we differentiate between cause and effect. From the cause the effect comes and merges back into the cause. So that cause is a more stable substratum from which the effects produce, like the tree springs from the seed. Do you know that you plant the seed and then plant grows out of it? It grows. Now it comes from the seed, and where does it ultimately go? Back to seeds. It comes back and goes back to seeds. So that is how you sow a seed of corn, and then what do you harvest? Potatoes. What do you harvest? Corn. So many corn seeds come from one corn seed. So it goes back to the cause again. So this is that we are therefore can see that this is the effect from some cause, and then it will merge back to that cause. So think of that cause. That is the goal. That is how the teacher explained to the inquirer in Taittiriya Upanishad, the third Bhrigu. It describes that disciple comes to the teacher. A disciple may be probably a young person, and asks the teacher. It is actually his father. Gurvai varuni varunam pitaram upasasara adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. This Bhrigu is the son of Varuna, so therefore he is called Varuni. Bhrigurvai Varuni, and approaches his father Varuna. Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, approaches the father. Oh dad, give me a candy? No. Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Well, teach me about God, the Brahman. What is it? I want to know that. And then Tasma etat provacha. He told him that, look, let me tell you what is God. Do you want to hear what the father told the son? Very simple. Not a big book. He didn't tell him, even a 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is too big. Told him just 3-4 lines. What? Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisamvishanti tad brahma tad vijijñāsasva. That from what? These things that you see, imani bhutani, all these things that you see, where from they come? Because they had a birth. They were not before that. Something that you see, you know that it was made before which it wasn't there. So you ask that when was that house built? When was that house built that you are living these days?
1999.
1999. So before that, that house didn't exist. It came. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, from which all these things are springing up. Yena jatani jivanti, where they are in that substratum where they are surviving now, and where they go back. Yat prayantyabhisamvishanti tad Brahma, that is the Brahman or the God that you are asking about, and that is the vitad vijidnyasasva. Please know that. That is the object worthy of knowing. What is worthy of knowing? What is the test of knowledge? It should be true. It should not vitiate. 5 minutes ago you thought like this, now you shift and no, it is like this. Not like the discoveries of science. How are they? By very definition, they are on a very flimsy ground. They keep on shifting and changing. They have to be, because you get new instruments and your view, your understanding all shifts and change. So, therefore, basically that is subject to change. So, not that kind of knowledge. That is not really knowledge at all. It is, in Mundak Upanishad, Shankaracharya describes that it is not how much time? 11. So time to stop. Yeah. So we will continue the discussion after a short break.